We're going to wrap up this week's show with a West Coast special here. And fair warning, this is not an East Coast dad approved game, but it is a college basketball junkie approved game. That is for sure. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time tip off. Number 23, Gonzaga on the bubble. First four in, first four out on a lot of bracketologies right now. Needs it bad at number 17, St. Mary's. Haslametrics makes the Gales a 3-point home favorite, over-under of 139.5. St. Mary's projected as a 6 seed right now with their unbeaten record in conference play. But Eli, you have an injury you want to note on here, right?
Absolutely. Joshua Jefferson suffered that season-ending knee injury going back to a few games ago. And keep in mind, when these two teams squared off at the Kennel, terrible officiating down the stretch in that one. So you know Gonzaga is going to have their eye on revenge here. Jefferson played all 40 minutes, 16 points, and 10 rebounds. So it's going to be tough for St. Mary's to replicate that and what he means to the Gales at both ends of the floor, especially when it comes to cleaning second chance opportunities up and limiting them for the opponent. That said, St. Mary's, when you look at their overall body of work, even without him, they don't allow a ton of second chance shots. But those 3 games without him on the floor have come against pretty weak West Coast Conference competition. So keep that in mind. Like I alluded to, Gonzaga lost this first meeting by 2 at home. Horrific officiating down the stretch. Even you saw Gonzaga fans throwing, I think, food or trash onto the floor in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, what was that by the way? Like, come on, Zags fans. Like, how spoiled can you be?
They deserve it. I think they had a right to be pissed off. Not saying, listen, we're not going to have the court storming, throwing crap onto the court in late game situations. But, you know, the officials may have had some money in their pockets.
Not that I have any room to talk. Like, I made every smart decision when I was a college kid. Like, I don't think so.
That's fair. But looking at Gonzaga in this one, especially at the defensive end, even with their event spot in mind, they've struggled to defend ball screen sets all season long. And that's where Bennett and St. Mary's offense thrives. And that's been his bread and butter ever since he took over, got the St. Mary's job, a decade plus ago. So even with Jefferson out for the rest of the season and in this game, St. Mary's ball screen offense with Mahaney, especially when he doesn't pass it off in those sets and pulls up in the mid-range, was really efficient in both of those or all 3 of those games against Gonzaga last season, especially when St. Mary's came back against the Zags at home and won that game in overtime. But bigger question for Gonzaga offensively, are Nolan Hickman and Ben Gregg going to be efficient and space the floor well? 1 of 9 they combined from behind the arc in the first meeting. So Gonzaga fans, to your point, Steven, maybe you shouldn't throw trash on the floor and direct your attention to 2 of your best floor spacers. Maybe they should have hit some more perimeter shots to help Gonzaga pull off that win as a home favorite. But I digress. I don't really have a take in this one. Raw numbers wise, I make it around Gonzaga pick-ish, maybe close to St. Mary's -1. So edge to Gonzaga, but it really depends on how Gonzaga plays in the half court and if Hickman and Gregg are more efficient.
Yeah, Derek, I'm curious to see like how quickly this gets steamed, if at all, towards Gonzaga because of the injury, or if the home court is still going to weigh in here and we might go the other way. If I had to guess, I think the injury is going to be a big deal in the number we get here when it opens, and the sharp money is going to recognize that. So I guess I'm just curious. You know, I've talked to Eli about not being great at recognizing spots in college basketball. Like I am more of a numbers guy. I go into the weeds, and I fully admit that gets me in trouble a lot in college basketball. I mean, I know this is on the road, but Gonzaga's got to have this or they're forced to win the conference tournament or basically not get into the dance. That's kind of my read on it. If they're currently basically last 4 in, first four participant here, this is their last shot at a big win before they have to get it in the conference tournament, right?
Yeah, you know, this is the spot, right, for Gonzaga. They need this one more than St. Mary's needs it. They absolutely, you know, they have to have it. And the one thing that's going to drive this game home is dictating tempo, you know, of course, because St. Mary's ranks 358th in length of possession on offense, where Gonzaga ranks 38th in length of possession on offense. They want to get out and run, but St. Mary's, last time around, I think they held them to one transition bucket, or I think it was actually 1 point. I think it was scored at the free throw line. So, and that's the problem for Gonzaga, is that when teams slow them down, they really struggle, right? UCLA slowed them down back in November. The Gales did it in February. So if you can dictate tempo against them, you're going to beat them. And if you're going to try and get out and leak out in transition against them, they're more than likely better than in transition than you are. So it's a tough spot. Whoever dictates tempo is going to win this game. If Gonzaga can turn St. Mary's over and do that press, and turn them over a bit, they probably got a good shot to win this one. But I'm probably going to look for a live spot if St. Mary's gets up early, and I'll probably look for a better number to back Gonzaga. But the tempo in this game is it's two vastly different teams. So if St. Mary's dictates tempo, it's going to be a tough game to watch, because it's going to be low scoring, it's going to be slow paced, it's not exactly going to be fun. So lean Gonzaga. The spot here favors them, so I'm with you. I'm with you on the Gonzaga, but I'm probably going to look to live bet it.